one of the first things that I personally want to dive into is VNY 2020. We were talking about Visit Nepal 2020, and the thought process of VNY 2020. You had just joined.
Yeah.
You had just joined. It was the beginning phases of your Nepal Tourism Board tenure. Could you tell us a little bit about what was the thought process of VNY 2020, to be precise?
Actually, government come up with the target, the number of tourists target. They come up with the vision that we should have invite at least 2 million people to Nepal. And before that, our data shows that we have almost 1.2 million people were visiting. So we have to add the number by the 0.8 million, which was quite a challenging job. This is what. And for that, they have they come up with this idea, Visit Nepal 2020, and they have created completely a separate secretariat for that under the chairmanship of our Suraj Bhai there. And so he really come up with a number of very fantastic ideas, and within a short period, because by the middle of this, or on the 23rd of the March, the country went on the lockdown. But within that short period, from the January 1 to 30, he had he done a number of wonderful things. For example, the Everest Fashion Show was one part of that. Skating in the frozen ice lake, that was the first time that we were doing. Biking in the mountains, and he came up with a very creative idea. And at the same time, he was approaching these different religious leaders in the India, and he want to invite them to Nepal and want to promote Nepal as a kind of a religious meditation or the wellness center. So completely different approach he was taking. So in between, after my appointment, I joined as just like after a month, we did this inauguration, and then we jointly started to work on what country want to achieve and how we can work more closely and can achieve what we really want. And we were moving on that. Our officers, all the staffs were working in very closely with the different countries. But the time when we inaugurated, before that, the COVID was already seen in the China.
Of course.
So what we were thinking, like China, the people will not come. So we were expected almost 0.5 million people from the China. So one big target was already we have lost. Then the ministry we decided, let's divide the world in a different category, and let's make because now the marketing strategy have to be changed in the new scenario, because the pandemic started to spread in the other countries. So first we divided on the 12 different part. Okay, we will do marketing here and we will achieve what we want. But every morning you come up with the new news and you have to change your whole strategy. So for a month we were like in a dilemma what to do. What is the best, because nobody knows what is going to happen, and all of a sudden it comes to India and to Nepal, then it shut down. So everything then we have to back up from saying that the VNY 2020 concept, and the secretariat was closed. And then we said that okay, since we don't know what will happen next, so we decided that we will do when the situation will come back in the normal. So since then, for the last 1.5 years, we are just struggling with the situation. But within that, this gives a lot of new lessons to us. If you want to know, I just can share.
Of course, please.
The most important part of what happened is, first time we realized that this sort of situation can come and we need to find a way to survive. And Nepal government for the first time realized the importance of the domestic market, which we haven't focused in the past.
Yeah.
So initially, nobody think that the Nepalese are also tourists. So this pandemic gave a very, completely, drastically changed the all thought of the people, and whole industry in Nepal, which was closed down during the lockdown, when we later it opened by the domestic tourists. And if you look at the total number, only 68,000 people visited in last 1.5 year, and from March 2020 after the lockdown, and out of them, I think almost 70% are for the diplomatic reasons, and only others are the people either for the trekking or the climbing or for the visiting some places. So they couldn't contribute much in the economy. So it was the domestic tourism that has really helped Nepal to.
I'm going to jump into domestic tourism in a while. Abdullah, the thing with Turkish Airlines is, I like this about Turkish Airlines, not focused on the labor market, focused on the tourism market. That is one of the things that you've come in and you've promoted that as well, right?
Yes.
Share a little bit about your tenure so far
Sure.
for the past 7 years.
So honestly, like for Turkish Airlines from the day one, Nepal is a tourism destination.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say day one, I should say one more thing. Today is our 8th year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Like we started in September 2013.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, let's say September 2013. So
Congratulations on that.
Thank you for that. And from the day one, that is our main target. And when we are doing that, I mean, we are honestly coming with an advantage to Nepal. What is the advantage? We have all around the world more than 325 destinations, which we can bring people from all these places to Nepal. So we can promote Nepal as a tourism destination in all our stations and everywhere. So that's a big advantage for us to add a new tourism destination, and of course for Nepal to be able to bring from all those countries. So our whole focus was like that, honestly. And when we talk about a little bit like VNY and tourism in Nepal, because of that, our looking angle to Nepal is always from the tourism side. How we can bring more people to here. And that's why we always try to contribute with all tourism entrepreneurs, like stakeholders, organizations like Nepal Tourism Board, wherever we can do anything, hoteliers, tour operators, travel agencies, all of them, we try to make a good tourism environment, honestly. And continuously we work on that. I mean, just to give an example, to promote Nepal outside, we have our own teams there for Turkish Airlines, but we go for promoting Nepal.
Yeah.
And we went to several tourism marts outside. I mean, like ITB Berlin, like which is in UK, and also in Spain, Fitur, Matka in Finland, like MITT in Russia, like Portugal,
Majority
US,
of the ones,
wherever.
yeah.
I mean, all around the area, wherever the tourism, Turkey also, MITT, wherever the tourism marts are happening, we were there as Kathmandu station to promote Nepal as a tourism destination to the tour operators and everyone present there, and of course to our stations there. So that was our looking angle, and we continuously did farm trips for this, familiarization trips from other countries. We brought people. We did some workshops there with them, with our stations in collaboration with them to increase the volume. With tour operators there, we did with our stations in coordination. So that is our angle. That's why we work in tourism area continuously. When I first came, I mean, I was too much focused on this, and I was saying like we work 8 hours for Nepal tourism, 3-4 hours for our own business. So it was like that. And of course, like around 2016, when we were discussing these issues, we were saying Nepal has much more to offer, but focused on like only mountains. So we were saying that, okay, Nepal has much more to offer. And that day we said Nepal more than mountains. And we put our strategy accordingly. We tried to show the other parts of Nepal, other sides of Nepal. I mean, not only the destination-wise inside, but also what can be done more in Nepal. So we focused on that, and those days we were discussing about 2 million target, because we were saying if you just focus 1 million, those days the numbers were, after the earthquake it was around 800,000 only, and it dropped at 2015-16 a little bit because of earthquake. We were saying if you focus on 1 million, you will just try to market more. But if you focus to make it 2 million, you will focus on some structural changes. And also you will try to find what else we can offer. So you will open your vision. Because like just increase a little bit means just more marketing. Everybody understands like that. But when you focus a really big number, then you have to find something else. And that is the point you develop yourself, you improve yourself. Even those days we were discussing about 2 million targets. And even we had a kind of committee which is Vision 5 million 2030. So but numbers are not the main thing we need to focus, of course. I mean, numbers are just there to give a little bit target and to give a little bit motivation to people. Main thing is it's a journey. Tourism is a journey. I mean, how you improve your products, where you move on. And as an airline, we also try to be on that side. How to bring more people, how to promote Nepal outside better. Who can we collaborate with that? How can we more useful for the country? Even I was saying that think like Turkish Airlines is Nepal Turkish Airlines. And you get the advantage of our all destinations. So that's our main motto.
This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.